everybody, welcome to a cheeky little bonus video. This is the first video that I am going to be filming in my new house, so I'm really excited about that. My lighting setup and everything is not what it's going to be in the future, but I really wanted to film this video, so I was willing to go ahead and skimp on the lighting quality a little bit. I figured you guys were probably due for a packaging update. A lot of people have asked me recently like if I do anything else, so I thought I'd just run you through the whole process, including all of my labels. I'm gonna leave links to absolutely everything in the description box below, like up to and including the type of printer that I use, the specifications for the label paper that I use, everything. So the first thing that I do with my soap, and I'm gonna be using the unicorn bars as an example today. These guys are not available to purchase. They were all pre-ordered, but I do have, for the next 24 hours, the giveaways for these that are still up. There are 2 giveaways that I'm doing. You have only today to enter those giveaways, and of course I'll leave those down below. But these guys have been curing for about 4.5 weeks. I have a minimum cure time of 4 to 6 weeks. So these guys are ready to be packaged up and shipped out to their new home. So the first thing that I do is I take a potato peeler. They have specific tools to do what I'm about to do, which is called beveling. They have bevelers out there that you can buy, but I like using the potato peeler because it's really precise. And I'm just gonna run it down the edges very gently so it just takes that little jagged line off. I find that this makes the packaging look a lot nicer and just makes the bar look a little more professional. You'll end up with little soap scraps like this, and some people like to save them. I have saved them. I used them in the Gypsy Dreams soap this last Saturday, and I put them as little, you know, confetti bits in my soap, so you can save those if you want or just throw them away. And again, I'll show you up close kind of how to do this. You just scrape very gently. Some people really do like to use a beveler, but I just find this is relatively quick. Of course, I'm kind of going a little slower for this demonstration, but I find that this is really quick and extremely cost effective to just buy a little potato peeler. And I actually think I got this one on Amazon because I was buying a whole bunch of stuff from them anyway, so I'll link even the potato peeler down below. I'm just gonna do this to all the bars, and then we will move on to the next step in the packaging of these soaps. Okay, so now that all of my soaps have been beveled, it is time to put them in the shrink wrap bags and seal them up. Now, some people use soap boxes and some people like to wrap their soaps in tissue paper, but I personally prefer shrink wrapping because I like it to be super tight, and whenever you have extremely detailed work on the tops of your soap like I do, it really helps to keep them safe when it comes to shipping. So here's the box of my shrink wrap bags. I get this off of eBay. They're 6 inches by 6 inches, and I buy them in packs of either 500 or 1,000. But if you don't make that much soap, they do come in other quantities. And this is the shrink wrap thickness. I can't remember what that GA stands for off the top of my head for the life of me. Oh, the gauge, that's what it is. It's 100 gauge, which just again is telling the thickness, and I think that that's the perfect one for soap. So if you need to get a different size because your soaps aren't as tall as mine or whatever, just make sure that it's 100 gauge, because anything bigger is going to be overkill for your soaps. And then of course my impulse sealer here. This one I actually have had 2, and you have to replace certain parts of it. This little band right here eventually will snap after you use it enough time, so you have to buy little replacement bits, and you have to wipe this down with alcohol pads occasionally to keep it clean. But these are really inexpensive. I think they're maybe $15 to $20, and it's lasted me forever. This is actually an older one that my mom had when she got married and had me, and I'm gonna be 23 this summer, so this thing is 23 years old around that, and it is still going strong, and I have packaged countless things with it. And I do have a second one for backup that I got off of Amazon, so I will leave the link to the second one that I have that is also perfectly wonderful in the description box below. So here's my little baggie. I'm gonna open that up. I slide mine in from the side, just like so, and then I take it as far as I can to the edge here, and as high as I can go, and that will depend, you know, on how much piping you have on top or if you even have any piping. So then I seal this in 2 different spots. First, I seal it on the side as tight as you can go, and then look, you can just pull off this extra here or snip it with scissors, and then I just seal the bottom part, and again, the end just comes right off. So this is what it looks like in your little baggie, all ready to go. So this is an extremely cost-effective way to package up your soaps. Shrink wrapping is super cheap, and once you make the investment in the impulse sealer and the heat gun to shrink the shrink wrap, it's just, those will last you forever. So like I said, I'm just gonna continue to put all of these in their bags. You might notice occasionally that one of the shrink bags gets a little hole on the side. If the hole is really small, I just go ahead and leave it because it's a good way to let the extra air escape, and it doesn't really affect the finished packaging at all. But if it's a big hole, just take the soap out again and put it in a new bag. Okay, so now it is time to shrink wrap these bars. So the first thing that I'm going to do is put these gloves on my hands because I like to protect my fingers from any of the heat that may be trying to burn them. What a lovely stain. So here's the heat gun that I have. The brand is Wagner. This is just like one of the cheapest ones on Amazon. Works super perfect, so I'm gonna turn it on low. I'm really hoping this isn't gonna be loud on camera. And I'm gonna let it heat up a little bit. And then I'm gonna hold it about 5 inches away, I'd say, and gently go over the top area first until it looks a little something like that. Then I flip it over and do the back. And then I go down the sides and I kind of press down on those a little bit. That way nothing pokey is sticking out. Then if this little pointy bit on the top is kind of sticking out, I kind of pat that down. And this is what your shrink wrapped bar should end up looking similar to. So now I'm going to go through and do all 34 bars just like that. So that's how I like to do the shrink wrapping, but Caleb has helped me with the shrink wrapping before and has probably found a faster way to do it. So after you get good at the first way, here's a more advanced technique.
I do the top first, and then I just go around and rotate the stack. You may have to keep your hands on it so it doesn't tip over, because the air bubbles will want to force it to tip. But keep the gun moving and you won't pop the plastic. So once you get them about that good, you switch the gun down to low and then do each individual bar from there. It'll be much faster that way. So you get, I don't know how many bars we have here, about 10, 15. You can get those to about 70% complete much faster than you would doing each individual bar like that.
Now that everything has been shrink wrapped, it's time to do the labeling. So I'm going to leave all of my label specifics down in the description box below. That includes the printer I use, that includes the exact label paper with the exact finish that I use, that includes where I get my labels. I get all my labels from onlinelabels.com. They are by far the most cost effective, and you don't have to buy in bulk. You can literally buy just one sheet if you need it. If you want to know sort of how I design my labels, you can click the little eye icon in the upper right hand corner. I will have my GIMP label design video up there. I do print all of my labels using a different program. I use the one that comes with any of your online label purchases. It's called the Maestro Label Designer. That is how I print them and how I make sure that every single one of these labels is in the specific box, because I no longer cut them. You can see here, I just peel them right off and they're all perfectly in the middle. So that's how I make sure that all of these are perfect. And also I will tell you, again, the label dimensions. So if you're going to want to design something like this in Photoshop or in GIMP, GIMP is essentially the free version of Photoshop. You know how big your template needs to be, and then you can fill it in with whatever you want. So On the front of my labels, I always have my logo here. I have the type of soap or product that it is. I have the name of it, and then I have the net weight. I should also probably mention that I use these labels for my artisan soaps, for my diamond soaps, and for my lotions. So it makes label design really, really easy because they're all the exact same size. So all I'm gonna do is peel it off, place it right in the middle of the bar, just like so. So something else that makes it really, really easy for me is that I use the exact same ingredients because I use the exact same recipe for all of my artisan soap. So the ingredient label looks exactly the same. So we have the ingredients here, we have the name of the soap, the type of soap it is, it has my Etsy shop right here, and again, the net weight. It's a very, very simple label. I wanted to keep it that way for the ease of the reader. There is nothing more obnoxious to me than trying to read an ingredient label that is confusing, that has fonts that are too big or too small, that has just illegible, is that right?
Yes.
It has illegible fonts that are just, you know, cuckoo crazy and hard to read. So I made sure that mine were super easy. I just essentially put a whole bunch of lines and just picked really easy fonts. It was not some great design feat here. So I'm going to continue to do this to all the bars. This is what the finished packaged product ends up looking like. And then we will get these into their boxes to ship out to the customers. So the next part of the shipping process that I like to do is to lay out all of the products that need to be shipped. So these are all the orders that I have to ship today. And then I go ahead and grab the boxes for each one of them. So this first box right here, this is a 5x5 corrugated cardboard box. This box right here is a 5x4x2 corrugated box. And then this one right here is called a Scotty stuffer. And these are the three main sizes that I use. And the only other ones that I use are the priority mail flat rate boxes from USPS. And those are free, so those are really helpful whenever I have bigger orders to ship. So this Scotty stuffer right here, I've talked about before. This box is specifically designed to fit inside a padded flat rate mailer. And I can fit 8 bars of soap in there. So I actually get to ship 8 bars of soap for around $7, which is much, much cheaper than shipping that much weight via priority mail. That's gonna run you about $14 if you're shipping it priority. So it's much, much more cost efficient to ship in that. All of my S's are running together. So I buy these on eBay, and then I buy these 2 boxes on eBay as well. So I buy all of my boxes on eBay. If you're going to buy the boxes that I'm mentioning here, sign up for eBay because they will give you up to 5% cash back on all your eBay purchases. So I end up saving an absolute oodle. That's also where I get my packing tape. So I get my packing tape on eBay. I get pretty much all of my packaging materials on eBay. So make sure you sign up for Ebates. I have a link to that down in the description box below. All you do is log in with your Facebook, and literally they'll send you like a check at the end of every quarter for all of the rebates that you get. So these are what I use. I can fit 2 bars of soap in these boxes. So I use these for my 1 to 2 bar orders. Like all of these right here will all go in a white box. And then if I have just a couple of them, this is an international order, so most of the time it's cheaper to ship via the first class international than it would be to ship priority, even in a like priority mail mailer, because I believe the priority mail mailer is going to be around $25. Small when it comes to weight anyway. It's normally cheaper just to ship like that, but you should definitely do the math to save you and your buyer some money there. And then like I said, anything over like 2 bars, when you start getting into 3, 4, 5 bar orders, they'll go in the Scotty stuffer or in one of those. And if it gets much bigger than that, they're going to go into a medium flat rate mailer. Also, some people have ordered some of my lotion. This is how I package up all of my perfume oils. They get put in some little, it's like brown paper lunch bag sort of wrapping. And then I put a little bit of washi tape that I got online around it just to kind of make that look a little bit nicer. So now what I'm going to do is put all the rest of these in boxes. Then I'm going to fill them up with packing peanuts. I store my packing peanuts in an IKEA laundry hamper. It was like $3 or $4. It makes them really easy to access, so it's definitely worth the $3 or $4. And then of course the packing peanuts I also get on eBay, so I'll link that down below. Once I have done that, I'll seal them all up and then I'll write everyone's names on it. Now this is not something that I used to do, but since I've been pregnant, I've been so much more forgetful. So everyone gets their name written on their box so that I don't mess up anybody's order. Then I will weigh all of the boxes and then I will plug them into the computer. It's really helpful to have a buddy or a spouse or a younger sibling read out to you the weights of the boxes whenever you're plugging them into the computer. It just goes a lot faster that way. So I'll have Caleb stand over here and I'll say, you know, Anika's box, how much does that weigh? And he'll tell me and I'll plug it in. And then I will print them off on the computer. I normally resize my labels to be a little bit smaller because they do take up half a page and these boxes are not half a page big. So I resize them to be a little smaller so that they'll fit. Then I'll cut them all out using this handy dandy slicer right here. And I do print them on regular printer paper and then I cover them with my packing tape and stick them on with this. So that's another really good way to save yourself some money, is just to print them on regular paper and then cover them with packing tape so that they're waterproof and they won't move at all. Then all of the packages get ready to go to my local post office and all the orders go on their way to their new homes. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Think about subscribing to my channel and leave me a comment down below. Remember, today is the last day to enter the giveaway for these unicorn frappuccino inspired soaps, so you can check the description box down below again for that. You can sign up for Ebates so that you can start saving money on all of your orders. And I will see you guys again on Saturday with another soap making video. So until then, I hope you have a really royal day and bye for now.